Welcome back to Gage Your Health. This is episode 7, so can't really believe it's already episode 7. That's crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, 7 weeks already. That's wild.
So
But
a week for every day of the week.
yeah, perfect. Perfect. We'll make a playlist. So I'm completely burnt out and tired from this week. It really beat me up this week, the whole Christmas experience.
Yeah, Christmas week.
I mean, not even that I did much because of, the COVID and everything like that.
Did you
And
travel?
no, I stayed home. We made dinner as a family and hung out and did really nothing.
I was in a hotel.
That's nice. Where were you?
It's in a hotel.
Oh, just random.
Yeah,
hotel?
no.
That's nice.
Is that not what you do for holidays? You don't go in hotels?
I mean,
No,
I haven't. No.
my parents are like homeless right now, so I went and met them at the hotel. Then
Oh.
they sold their home. They're waiting for their other home.
Okay.
They've been living.
I'm
in a
glad for
hotel.
the clarification. That was good clarification on that.
All
one.
right, yeah.
But since that, I'm just gonna tell some stories from the spa, as I like to call it, or the Psych ward BP. What was it, BP2? It was called.
Like Robert Kraft.
I believe it stood for Bloomsburg Psychiatric Floor 2.
Bloomsburg.
Yeah, it was in
Interesting.
Danville though. It was horrible place.
Is that the Danville State Hospital by chance?
No, but
Similar but
funny
different?
story. The first time my parents came to visit me there, they went to the Danville State Hospital. And have you ever seen the Danville State Hospital?
Yes, I have seen it. I think I pulled into their parking lot one time to explore.
My parents described it to me as it was a true mental asylum, like with brick
Oh, yeah.
walls and like
Oh yeah.
barbed wire on top and people in straitjackets. So they pulled up there to look for me, and they were like, "Oh shit, he's in big trouble." There.
This is not it. This
Yeah,
is the
no.
wrong place.
They quickly found out I was in just like a Geisinger up the road, so it really wasn't much.
A chain.
Yeah, a chain psychiatric ward. But so before I went in there, I was in just the regular hospital for about a week waiting for a room. I don't really remember it. I was from like the actual suicide attempt when I took all the Xanax. I don't remember.
As previously noted, yeah.
Yeah, as previously noted on, I think most of the episodes. I really don't remember my time in the hospital. I guess I was waiting for a bed or whatever it was. But when I got in there, they wheelchaired me in there, and they go, "Okay, this is your new roommate." And I'm not going to use real names here, but this man did not have a real name. I swear to God, it was a Mario character name. It was
Yoshi?
I don't want to say it on air but like I don't really believe it was even his real name. Like I'm not.
What does it rhyme with? Yeah, if you were joking, what would you say his name was?
Payson Parr.
All right.
I'll tell everybody later, but
So here's my question. So when you're entering the psychiatric ward, how's the staff?
it was weird. It was
Yeah.
very weird because the way the floor was laid out was you got up on the elevator and you came out in the hallway, and then you went through the first set of double doors, which were like a buzz-in door, and then you had to wait for the doors behind you to close, and then there was a second set of double doors with the same thing. So then you walked into the actual floor, and you walked straight into the common area. So as soon as you walk in, there are everyone on the floor is just sitting there staring at you, just going, "Oh, someone new's here." So it's a very jarring experience. Like you're still in your scrubs and stuff. Like
You could really draw the connection to like jail in that situation.
honestly, I mean, I don't know, but I've never been in jail.
I like the show.
I've been in a holding cell one time, but that's as far
That's
as
a
it's been.
different episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw the show Oz on
Oh,
HBO. So that's
Honestly, I've never watched that show.
good show. Good
I've
show.
heard very good things about it. I
But,
definitely have to check it out.
You know, you'll walk in and it's just a room full of people, and some
It
people are
was-
crazy doing crazy shit, and other people are just sitting there, and you're just
Oh.
like, and here it's just an open room, and you're just there.
It was
You just walk in.
pretty jarring due to the fact like there was a few semi normal people there, like people.
Oh, you
there-
were there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm semi normal. I'm not completely normal, but
You're not just bashing your head against the wall repeatedly. though,
exactly. Like I'm a functioning human being, and there were other functioning human beings there as well.
For
But
them.
the few that weren't were very, very scary. But anyway, my roommate, thankfully, my first one was a functioning human being. He was a little bit stranger. He's a meth head. I don't remember too much about him. He was a meth head, and he was very, very nice. But all he would do up until about 3 a.m. was pace up and down the hallways, and it was really, really strange. And then there was this girl that he said that has like followed him around the entire time. And we were talking about it in our room one night, and I open up the door as we're talking about her, and isn't she standing right outside the fucking door smiling at me as I open it? And I went, close the door, and I went, well, I'm not getting a drink tonight. I'm going to go back to bed in this prison cot, and I'm done with this. It was absolutely terrifying, and that girl scared me the rest of the time. I was
Wait,
there for a week.
so everybody has free room?
It yeah. So the
Huh.
process was you were supposed to go to all the meetings, all the groups, all that type of shit throughout the day,
Okay.
but you didn't have to. But if you didn't go, they could keep you there for longer. It was their discretion
You
on
have
how
to
long they
comply.
kept you there.
Yeah.
Um, so if you didn't go, like you were there for longer, and I honestly would assume she's still there. She stayed up all night long and just would, because it was only a hallway long and there was communal bathrooms, a communal kitchen.
Oh,
So
it's only one floor?
I believe there's more than one
Oh,
psychiatric
it's
floor
a
in the
wing.
hospital, but yeah, it was one wing
Gotcha.
in the actual hospital.
Gotcha.
So yeah, people did have sort of free roam, like TV would shut off at a certain time, stuff like that. But if it was a psych ward, so people stayed up all night.
It's definitely a torture method, just turning off the TV mid-programming.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
Okay, they
that's
ended group at like, I was normal, so I went to bed, but they would end group at like 12, 1 o'clock, and the TV wouldn't come on till 3. So then there'd just be a bunch of crazy people walking around this floor, just staring at each other and trying to make conversation about all this bullshit, and it was just. It was a very, very, very interesting
So
experience.
what were some of these conversations like?
So the one woman who I I don't even remember her name to begin with. She had 2 broken wrists. And she said she just came out of jail. The reason she just came out of jail was she stabbed her husband for cheating on her. And then she said she was I do not believe this is true at all. She said she was a, an owner of Valero Gas Company. I don't think that was true.
I know the brand.
The gas
Very
stations.
familiar.
I don't think that was true at all. But she was a trip. She was a great person to talk to. Since she had 2 broken wrists, I was kind of her lackey, kind of her friend, and I would help her out. And since she was just out of jail, she kind of treated it as prison. So we would have conversations about her being in jail and why she stabbed her baby daddy or her husband or whatever it was at the time. She was a very interesting human being.
My
She was
real
one of my
question is,
favorite.
how did she break her wrists? From the attempt?
I believe in jail. I think she'd like punched a wall or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But I would make her popcorn, and then we'd watch Anaconda and shitty movies like that.
Anaconda's good.
It was after like the 3rd time you've seen it, it's pretty horrible, actually.
Yeah, no, I could
the
definitely see
acting's
that.
very hard. The acting's very subpar. The CGI's not good
Weak.
at all.
At best, yeah.
Yeah, very weak at best. But it was an experience. And then when my one roommate, we all kind of hung out together. There was like 4 or 5 of us that hung out every day. In all honesty, like that we played board games together. We played Xbox 360 together, and we just kind of like hung out together since we were the people not bashing our head against the wall, not talking to the pillows and shit like that. But so after my first roommate left, it really kind of shifted because I got this new roommate who was like this 45-year-old man who didn't sleep with any covers and had jeans on, and sometimes he slept in a Dallas Cowboys hat, which I had an issue with, but like
That is crazy.
it was very strange. It was just a very, very, very strange experience. Again, like if I could only like go back for like an hour and a half there and here and there, like it would probably be hilarious to like just see it again. But the entire 7 days there really took a full mental toll on me. Like I literally went to the people and I was like, these people, this is making me more crazy than it was before I was here.
That's really what it sounds like. I was going to say that. There's a lot of things that are happening there that sounds like it would really kind of set back your progress as opposed to make things better.
Yeah, no, and it's really just due to the fact that, no one's equipped for that. People not no one, but people aren't really readily equipped like in the public health system to differentiate the kind of problems like that and send you to where you need to be for those problems.
And the other thing is, if you land in that situation, sometimes in a circumstance much like you, where you don't really remember it, where
Yeah.
you're like, "How did I get here? What's happening?" So you're already in a state of
Apparently, I
confusion.
signed a paper and signed myself in. That was the whole thing why I wasn't allowed out either until they told me I was
So
allowed
that's
out.
true. If you check yourself in, you can't check yourself out.
You can, but then they put you through like a trial process sort of, and that can take anywhere up to, they told me, 5 days. So it was kind of like doubling the amount of time I was there, like even if I went right into it, cuz I couldn't do the appeal process till like 3 days in or something like that.
So during your 7-day stay, what happened? What was the goal of you being there?
Honestly, I think it was just to kind of put me somewhere to reflect on why I did what I did, on like why I was at where I was at.
So after the 7 days, you're put there to reflect.
That's what I at least think they put me in there for personally. Like there were people there that like definitely needed to be in a psychiatric ward. There were
course.
people there that like this one guy, apparently he was my age, which I was 21 at the time. And apparently his mom would come in every day, I believe
Oh,
it
you were
was.
you were allowed visits.
Yeah, we were allowed visitors, and I had a visitor every day due to the fact that it was in Danville, right up the street from Bloomsburg, and like that's where all our friends were. They were all
Yeah.
right there, so a lot of people did come and visit me there, and it was interesting to see them. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of rough to see some of my closest friends in that, in like my most vulnerable state. Like I'm literally in a fucking gray sweatsuit with grippy socks on. You know what I mean? Like
Sounds comfortable.
it was incredibly comfortable. Honestly, I still have the socks. I love the socks.
Good socks.
We're not going to go into that one. But yeah, no, the one guy, his mom would come in every day and bring him a home cooked lunch and dinner at the same time. And he apparently like they were immigrants, and apparently he did all her college classes for her, and then woke up one day and just was not the same person. Like he was started to talk to himself, like hear voices, walk like when he was in the psych ward, he would just walk him down the hallways, talk to himself, stay to himself. Like the aides would help him out pretty much with everything. It was very strange. But then I heard stories he escaped 3 times. 3 times. How do you fucking escape from that?
It's clearly very smart, right?
Yeah, no, clearly a genius. Like clearly just he like it almost seemed like his brain was so overpowered, like it overloaded one day. Like just completely overloaded.
He
one day.
snapped. Tortured genius.
Exactly. And it's a sin. Like it's
terrifying. I mean,
imagine like
it could happen to us.
exactly. It really could. I mean, I don't think my brain's that overloaded, but imagine like that kid could have cured cancer. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Still
that's
can.
crazy. 110%. He's able to escape from the psych ward while talking to himself, walking up and down the hallways. This I did not believe it the first time I heard it, and then it happened like a day or two before I got there, or after I got there again, because there was someone I actually did stay in contact with from that place for like a couple days. It was
Okay.
not someone I wanted to stay in contact with, but swapped information and like felt I had to be kind of nice about it. Like I kind of wanted to put
What was
that.
this person's deal?
She was a little younger than I was, and she just didn't quite feel like comfortable around herself. I believe she said like she was just like she felt like something bad was going to happen to her. Like she felt like she knew like she was going down a dark path, so
That's
she
not
checked
good.
herself in. But I mean, it's not good, but she knew. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
Knew and
No,
had
it's
that
very good
intuition
that
to go in and do that.
yeah, she took the right measures, but it makes you feel bad. I see why you were like, I should kind of stay in contact.
Yeah, exactly. Like she, not that I didn't want to, be friends with her like in a different life. It was just I wanted to put that life behind me. I don't want to really go back to that. Like, yeah, telling stories about it is one thing because some of the stories are very funny, very entertaining, but it's still a part of my life that like I am clearly not proud of. I
Yeah.
don't want to ever be in a situation like that again.
That's how
Like,
you learn too.
exactly, and that is a big reason on again why this show's happening, and that's why this that's exactly why this entire show happened. Actually, that
Yeah.
comedy show. I told you I'd come on Weekly Incon and
Yeah.
just do the stories, and that was it. And it's evolved into this.
Yeah, it's
So,
like there's definitely more than enough stories for, a 20-minute interview.
oh,
So
for sure. Yeah, no, this will be a recurring thing for sure. Every few episodes, every so many episodes, I will do another story and whatnot. But, um,
so let's get back into the start of your visit. Day one, what was your reaction at the end when you laid in bed at the end of night day one? What were you thinking?
well, so my parents obviously were there, like, because I was in the hospital for a week beforehand, so they were already up there.
Okay,
And so they were there with me, and they dropped off, a couple books because that's all you could really do is read, blanket, shit like that, like just kind of shit to make me more comfortable. My roommate at the first roommate was very, very nice guy. Kind of took me in, told me like what to do, like what the like processes were of everything, because we had shower times, we had to, there were certain times we could do this, there were certain times we couldn't do that, yada yada. We weren't allowed outside, he
that's
told
wild.
me since I smoke cigarettes, he told me the best way to, get over nicotine addiction in there. And it's actually the gum. Do not do the patches. The patches are horrible. They don't work. It's the gum. The gum
That's
is the
funny.
way to go. Um, but at the end of the first night, I looked up the wall and I kind of was like, it didn't set in until the end of the first night. I was like, shit, this is real. This is 100% real. Like, I am
Yep.
in, like, I'm laying on a cot in a fucking brick.
And you can hear other people probably, right?
Oh, 110%. Like, I mean,
Talking.
other than the guy next to me, like, I had a roommate, and
Yeah.
then I can hear people, the insomniacs, up and down the hallway throughout the night, and some of the people were loud. And there was this one guy who sang throughout the night. That's a
kind of
whole nother story,
singing?
but it was everything. He was also very creepy. So he would sing like there was this girl in there named Jolene. And have you ever heard the Zach Brown band song Jolene? And that was someone
Maybe.
else did it too. It's a country song. I think it was Dolly Parton. Someone. I don't quote me
Okay.
on that. I'm not a country connoisseur there. But so there was a girl named Jolene there, and he would just sing Jolene to her every time she walked by. And then he pissed himself on the bench. That's another story. That man I could talk about for about
I
40
think him and
minutes. or so.
Jolene have a future together.
I think Jolene already had 2 kids, and she was a year or so younger than I was. So yeah, no, I wasn't even like the youngest kid there, and I was 21.
And you had a 45-year-old roommate too, so you definitely weren't the oldest.
No, there was a lady in the drug and alcohol group, because they also had like a separate drug and alcohol group that I was in, that was 65. Another lady
Ooh.
that was in a wheelchair that was probably in her 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very,
Very diverse.
It was very diverse and honestly very upsetting to see that. You know what I mean?
Of course,
Like,
yeah.
that's
feel bad.
rough to think about. Like, you think when you're that old, like, you got your shit figured out.
And
These people didn't, and it's kind of scary to think about that. Like, oh, what could happen in those 50 years? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, when you see life so real like that, it's a rude awakening and like a huge dose of reality.
Yeah,
being
and
like,
but I think I needed it.
absolutely.
Like, I think it was the best thing for me because that huge dose of reality showed me, I can't skate through life like the way I have been previously for the previous 21 years before that. I had to put some sort of effort into doing stuff. So
Yeah, it's
it
important.
really did show me a lot, and it really was an eye-opening experience and something that I will never want to do again. Obviously, I hope I pray I pray every day that it won't. Um, but it is something that gave me an awakening. It is something that showed me something different. It is something that woke me up and showed me the error of my own ways, which was really the whole key of it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I hate to make this comparison because it's not the same at all, but just a little bit similar about how on that TV show, Scared Straight, when they would, bring people through to the prisons and have them stay there, they go there and be like, you know what, maybe I should change my patterns of behavior.
Yeah.
Not saying obviously mental health issues is you can fix it by changing your patterns
But
of
it
behavior.
is almost
but-
like a certain way to do that. Like it 100% is like it kind of did scare me straight into becoming healthy and becoming a healthier person and to taking care of my mental health. It did scare me straight in a way, in
Okay.
a very good sense. Actually, that is a good comparison to make, in my opinion. It might not be in everyone's case. Everyone's case with mental health is very different. So mine might just be a little more comparable to that than anyone else's, but that is a
good.
good comparison. So no, I think that's perfect.
So I know we can't continue and talk about the psych ward experience this entire time because there's so much to fill.
Yeah, no,
Just a quick just like as a quick preview for some upcoming stories along with the psych ward series. What do you have to look forward to? Like what interesting stuff kind of happens in the future? Just quick spark notes.
well, once the singing guy, his entire story, everything that happens with him is a great story. He was a character and a half. There are the guy who talked to himself, some of the things he said in or around my vicinity. I'm not sure if he was speaking to me or somebody else, but that he was a very interesting human being. That's going to be a great story.
So each of these people could be like a half an episode.
Oh, I believe more than that. Then there's the people who like defied the aides and the nurses and stuff. Like the way you had to get because I was coming off drugs, like the way you had to kind of get your medicine in a way that kept you in a comfortable place, but still didn't force you overboard. There's stories on stories about that entire week there.
All right, so yeah, so it sounds like just like kind of a side series of Gage Your Health, like every couple episodes.
Yeah.
It's like this is a psych ward special.
So yeah, exactly. Psych Ward Special Part 1 then.
All right, there you go.
All right, guys. Well, have a good week then.